All right, so here we are.
Hi.
Hi.
What's good?
Not much. Episode 4 of HOA Crusades. And this is our guest for today, Shean L. I won't throw out your last name for, the world to know.
Of course.
So, Shean was my first real employee, my first full-time guy. And we wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
Oh, thank you very much.
And the work
I put a lot of work in there.
You did.
Yeah,
The work you did early on, it, set the foundation and helped me, I learned so much from that experience and kind of what, I've had to make adjustments since then and how my plan to build this thing was. And a lot of it was just out of necessity. But earlier on, I thought I read a book that was talking about how being successful in business is just about like replacing yourself. So I was trying to find someone who had
That's really cool.
the same skill set as me. And then,
Did you?
well,
No.
I mean, you were the closest that I had.
I was the first person who called.
No. So no, I interviewed a few people before I
Yeah.
hired you, and I found we got linked up on
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
that was
then-
cool.
And I kind of just threw you into everything at the same time.
Well, I kind of expected that because the main question you had for me on our phone interview
Yeah.
was, if you don't know how to do something,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? And I said, fuck, Google it.
Google.
So, and you said, wow, that's a great answer. That's what I would do. So we did have the same skill set. We could YouTube stuff.
We could YouTube stuff. We could figure it out on the fly. And
That was good.
And as you guys might have figured out by now, as the viewers might have figured out, I had no clue what I was doing when we started this business. And when you came on, I still had no clue what I was doing. And now,
You knew more than me.
well, yeah. I
You were taking the risk, though, so you were doing great.
thanks.
Yeah.
Now at this point, I've figured a couple things out, but I'm still figuring it out as I go, right? And so to a large extent, you were able to kind of, you did everything like I did, in the sense that you were doing admin stuff. You were talking to people, you were talking to insurance companies, you were swinging the hammer, you were weed whacking.
Talking to contractors and everything.
Contractors, mowing.
Remember that first
plowing.
day I came over? It was like we interviewed and you were like, oh, okay, I'll think about it. And then you called me back like an hour later. I need help right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're over there. You're on the zero turn.
Yep.
And I'm running around the whole thing with a weed whacker like crazy.
Yep.
Can't believe we got done what we did in like 3 hours. That
Right.
whole place.
It was brutal. That was a tough day. By the end of that day, you were like, yeah, I'm done. I'm going to go home. And you were just like,
It was 4 hours though.
I
That
know.
was a whole day's work.
I know.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, we cranked. And that's kind of how that whole, that's still kind of how it feels, but that whole time period, as I remember it, feels like just a constant ball of chaos
Oh, it was.
and
It was always something different.
mayhem.
Yeah. It never stopped. I never got any complaints about what I did though.
No,
The work I did. So that was good.
no. You did a great job. And what I thought was impressive about it was a skill set, like construction maintenance was not something you necessarily had experience in.
I had zero at all.
Yeah. But you figured it out. When you didn't know something, you YouTubed it and you just kind of used common sense. And, it was funny because we had this running joke is that there were moments when I had the common sense and you lacked it and vice versa. Moments where I was just clueless and you were like, dude, what are you doing?
What are you thinking?
Yeah. So like blowing leaves into other people's property.
Oh my God, dude. I'm so happy you brought that up. I was so disappointed and like shocked. And dude sends me out to go blow leaves in some lawn for an old lady to help her out. And I'm like, well, where am I putting the leaves? On the street? You're going to come over and we'll load them up? No. You blow them in the woods. And I'm like, oh my God, you can't just do this. And we did. But then the other times though, we were blowing leaves across the road.
Yeah.
Into someone's property. I run up to you.
It was, there were still woods, but it was just
but
not our
I
woods.
came up. You can't ever do that. That's
so mad.
I was pissed, dude.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful in a way, you know?
Yeah.
But you learned your lesson on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we learn these lessons as we go.
Yeah.
Right. and I think a lot of it is just, you know, I know what it's felt like through my lens because, you know, I was there for it. Right? But as someone coming in from the outside and then getting brought up to speed on the job description and then kind of finding your own, you were with us for like, it was at least 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah, almost a year at least.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
And so by the end of it, you kind of had, you know, knew what was going on and figured everything out. And from your perspective, what was the job description? Like, what did the job entail, and what was your experience from your perspective of the job itself and like the stuff that we had to do to accomplish the tasks on any given day?
Well, I don't mind dealing with people. I'm good with that. I can calm people down and take care of situations on the fly like that. But the other stuff, you know, maintenance, I had no clue what I was doing. I've done the landscaping. Totally don't know what's going on. I mean, I never rode a zero turn, but I've done the leaf pickup and everything, so I was good with that. But the maintenance, I had no clue what I was doing. I don't swing hammers. I was an aircraft mechanic. I don't even turn wrenches. So I had no clue, but I was looking it up, and I figured everything out. That wasn't the problem. But there were some things like you had me fill in this hole, like part of a sidewalk washed away.
Yeah.
And so people were worried that they were going to, you know, break their ankle on it or whatever.
Sidewalk was going to collapse.
Yeah. So you had me fill it in, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's, you know, I figured it out quick. I'm going to throw some rebar in there to hold up some big stones, and then I'll fill it with little stones.
Backfill it.
And then, so you called me like 5 times. Are you done yet? Are you done yet? I had to keep going back to the store because I didn't know this, but the sidewalk, giant hole under it.
Oh.
So all the stone I was filling in just kept going under
bottomless
the hole.
pit.
Oh my God, it was so bad. So I must have had to go back like 5 times to just keep getting more and more and more. But when you saw it though, it looked great. You were impressed, so I was happy.
That was one of the first things you asked me today when you're like, "How's that hole that I filled in?"
How is it? I wanted to know because I still think about that stuff.
Yeah.
How's my air conditioner shelf, or the dehumidifier shelves?
They're holding up.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're still there along with the dehumidifiers
That's
you installed.
great. That's great.
I sent the guys a few months ago to at least clean them and like reset them and make sure everything was running right. But yeah, everything's
Oh, look at me.
Look at
See,
you.
I never built a shelf before.
right.
So I'm just cutting this shit, not knowing what I'm doing, and but that worked out. That was good.
Nice, man.
I remember this time. What was it? Oh, this was so funny, dude. I pull up to Building 3, Country Squire, and you're there, and I walk up, and you go, Shean, did you leave that tool here? Because I go, yeah, I did. And it was a Milwaukee, like multi-tool or something. And stupid Milwaukee. Those tools suck. So I said, yeah, I did. And I felt really bad. Yeah. And you said, damn, man, you're a really honest guy. And I was like, my dude, I just walked up. You were here before me.
I didn't have a chance to lie about this.
What am I going to say? No, I just dropped it. Oh my God, it was so funny. But then I got my own tools.
Yep. Now you're a DeWalt guy.
Yeah. My black and yellow.
Yeah.
Why'd I get them?
This was the funniest reason I've ever heard for someone buying a tool brand. Here I am watching review videos of like all
Hours,
the different
hours. You spent days, dude.
Dude, what for each individual tool compared against all the other individual tools across all the brands, and like
And he buys Ryobi.
no. What I had, but I switched up to
No,
Milwaukee
I'm
before
playing.
you.
I'm playing.
All right. So, and you end up buying like your DeWalt kit, and
Good deal too.
it was a good deal. And I say, why'd you get DeWalt? And you're like, because I lose stuff all the time, and it's bright yellow, and I feel like I'm going to be able to find that easier.
And what'd you say?
And I said, are you kidding me?
You turn. I don't know. We were with somebody, and we're in the car some other time with some kid, and you go. This kid says he got DeWalt so he could see it. He's playing chess while we're all playing checkers.
Yeah,
that was the best thing, dude.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
Yeah. And you did that with a lot of your stuff. You'd like highlight it pink or like paint it pink or yellow or bright
orange,
green,
whatever,
so that you wouldn't lose it.
Yeah. Well, grass is dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I drop something, it's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that worked out really well.
Just insurance plans and contingencies against yourself.
Exactly.
Which is
I know me.
Right. And I think that's one of the things I've learned since then is I've had to hire people that aren't like, if I'm a little bit discombobulated or disorganized or a little chaotic, like I need to hire people who can balance that out.
Yep.
And help me stay organized and help me stay like, because I can solve the problem really quickly, but I have trouble keeping track of all the different problems that I need to be solving in a given day.
It's my day, man. Every day.
Really?
Every single day. My job's hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot.
So now do you do, so just so we can fill them in, if you can just talk a little bit about your previous job experience, what you did. I know, what you did before, and then after you finish that, what you're doing since.
Yeah. So I've always been in some kind of customer service.
Okay.
And then I was in the military for, I don't know, 4 years, 6 years or something, as an aircraft mechanic. But I mostly did tool inspections and safety inspections and liquid oxygen and fire suppression stuff. So that was really cool. And then I got into insurance for a little bit, which I liked, the auto and home insurance, not life insurance. But what did I do after that? I ended up in mortgages in 2015 and fell in love with it, doing the hardship loans for people that had previous health issues or whatever, causing financial distress for them. So that was great. Fell in love with it. And then after that place shut down, we went to go open another one in Mass, but that's when the pandemic hit. So everything got delayed, all the licenses and everything. So we ended up shutting down.
Yeah.
But that's during the pandemic, so I was able to stay home with the kids.
Yeah.
And my wife's a teacher. She had to teach from home while the kids were on the computer learning from home. Mm-hmm. So if this didn't happen the way that it did, it would have been a nightmare. But I was home. I was able to keep the kids out of her way while she's teaching virtually.
Yeah.
In the dining room, and the kids are running around. So I had everything. So that was great. And then that sweet pandemic unemployment was going to stop. So, which I'll never get that opportunity again.
Right.
So I'm thrilled I got that.
Yeah.
But so I knew I had to get something going to get back to work. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I just had Indeed open, no specific search parameters, and came across yours, which was unnamed, no specific location. It was like hidden information I couldn't get.
Really?
There was no name, not your name, no country squire on there.
Yeah.
No location. It said Hartford and whether Cheshire or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, where are we? Middletown.
Yeah.
So it just had those two locations, and that was it. So a general description of landscaping and admin stuff. And so I was like, forget it. I'll just go do this. I'll do anything.
You have no idea what it is.
No clue. That's what I always did.
Okay.
Like I went to the military on a whim to be an aircraft mechanic on a whim.
Yeah.
For no reason. So I got into mortgages with no experience, and then I got into this with no experience. But that was probably better for you.
Yeah.
Being able to teach me what you wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that all led me to you, which was great. What else did I do? Oh, now I'm working as a cash management banker for a small company, which is great. I love doing that. It's a lot closer to home. It gets me out of the cold.
Yep.
Which brings me to Hartford.
Yeah.
Cash money.
Cash money. You go cash money. Yep. Uh-huh.
But first, before that debacle, would that happen 3 times?
Yeah.
Before that, or while it's going on, that wall unit propane heater above
Danita's
goes. And I am frantically trying to tarp these downstairs doors to keep water from getting in. I'm completely drenched. What month was it?
So it was the day of my anniversary, so it was January 12th.
January 12th. It's freezing out.
Yeah.
And I am soaked from head to toe. Like down to my underwear.
Yeah.
Nothing was going to keep the water off of me.
I was supposed to be my day off. I remember that. And the calls just keep coming in.
Nuts, dude. So we finally got the water shut off by the city had to come out.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know how.
We didn't know where the water
We had no clue where it was located. They found it for us.
Yeah.
Thank God. And then eventually we bought the wrench to shut it off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever have to do that again?
Oh yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah. We did it a few more times. And now, were you there when we fixed the water leak or no?
In the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since doing that,
I was just going to ask about this too. That's so funny.
yeah, since doing that, like we haven't needed to shut down the whole complex too many times since then. But I remember that winter was like just one incident after the next.
Everybody.
Because all these mechanical closets are on exterior walls
With no insulation.
and if people don't run their heat, they freeze up. Cash money, man.
Oh, this dude just had no respect for what he was doing. He didn't care.
No.
And he thought it was my fault that it happened.
Correct.
And I'm like, my dude, this isn't how insurance works. It's not my fault. It's yours.
Right.
And insurance doesn't cover burst pipes.
Well, not just that.
Which is besides the fact.
The pipes burst because he disconnected the utilities to his unit.
Right.
And so it was, it was a matter of time. And so in his mechanical closet, his pipes go. And like you're out there, this was the same day after you were fixing the other one.
Yep.
And you're like, dude, there's this other thing that went, you call me, you're like, I know it's your anniversary. I know you're trying to have a nice day with your wife, but like, I need help. Like,
I couldn't handle this at all.
It was like, and I was just like, all right. So I rolled up, and I remember getting up there, and I felt bad for you because it was cold and you were soaked.
Yeah. Oh, dude, head to toe. My boots were full. The thermal boots.
Yes.
Solid ice.
Full of
solid
water.
ice, dude.
Yeah.
3 of my toes turned black.
No.
No. No. I got to keep everything. But yeah, that was a rough night.
Yeah, I remember getting it. Once John showed up, I was like, all right, Shean, you're good to go. And we fixed up
Oh,
that
yeah,
pipe.
yeah.
And then like a week later, it happened again. Because he was like,
it was like,
it's not my problem. Now, you were there when he showed up with the plumber and looked at it.
I seen him. I met him like 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
I
and
never.
one time
I didn't
he got an attitude with me, and I was like, dude, This isn't my problem. I don't have to talk to you about this.
Right.
You can deal with it on your own if you want. I'm trying to help you.
Right.
So, but he did not want to turn that stuff on, the utilities.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's gas. How much could it possibly cost? You're not filling an oil tank.
Right.
How much could it possibly cost you a month?
Right.
To protect everything. And that was the big problem. It's not protected at all. It's just going to keep going. Right. Did you see the second time or the third time? I think I don't even remember which time, but where the burst was, it shot a jet stream through his drywall into the upstairs living room and destroyed the place. But it was so powerful, it went right through the drywall. And I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that was so much water, so much.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it went. From the downstairs?
Yeah.
How did he get it out of there? I have no idea. I never saw him with a pump.
I didn't either.
He just let it seep in, dude.
I know. And then he just sold it.
Yeah.
And he sold it. And
That was horrible.
I was not a good dude.
No.
And yeah, so that's so funny because I remember.
He told me he was just going to walk away. He's like, I'm just going to abandon it.
And I would have been cool with that because then we could have foreclosed on it and then we could have made more money than we did. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. But, that was pretty nuts.
That was nuts, man.
And there's one time, I don't know where you are. You're on vacation or something up in Vermont. You're snowboarding or something. And I am in the truck at Hartford. And I am on the phone. It's like midnight.
Really?
My wife was like upset with me about something. And then,
the fact that you were not home at midnight.
And then I'm there. I call her and I'm like crying on the phone. I'm like, I'm so tired because I'm doing all the snow removal, but I was by myself.
Really?
I was by myself doing it. So I'm plowing and plowing. I think that's the night that I dropped the sander.
Oh.
Which was an accident. I'm sorry.
You didn't drop the. Yeah, but when you drove,
I dumped the salt.
Yeah, you dumped it. You picked up. You had a full thing of salt, and then you like just drove down to Hartford with it.
Yeah, well,
salted the highways.
I just finished Country Squire.
Yeah,
going around like twice with it.
Yeah,
and then I had a ton left, and I thought I thought I was still like closed up.
Yeah,
but so I'm at Hartford, and I thought I salted really well, and then I go around, and I'm like, shit, what happened?
There's no salt.
Yeah, so that was rough. But so that was a tough night.
Yeah.
And then there's this night we're with that kid and your boy.
Which one?
Some kid you hired.
Okay.
I don't remember his name. Really nice kid.
Yeah.
Alex.
Oh yes, Alex.
Doing some part-time stuff with us.
Yeah.
He was really nice. And then, so we're doing snow removal with him, and then you had some guy at Country Squire that you would have work with you.
Yeah.
And this guy's picking up snow blowers off the back of the van.
Eddie.
And putting them on the ground, dropping them.
Yeah.
And I'm so worried he's going to mess his back up because my back's shot.
Right.
I'm so worried about this.
Yeah.
That I tell him off. And I didn't curse at him or anything, but I'm like, dude, you can't do that again.
Right.
He's like, oh, I got this. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you.
Right.
You're not doing it again. I'm in charge of the equipment.
Right.
That's,
You
who's
were.
going to get yelled at, me or Eddie? So.
And you were, I think you were in your rights to do that, within the company.
Yeah.
At the same time, it was like one of those things where he was like fresh out of prison, but like,
let this one go, please. Wear a vest tomorrow. Like,
wear a bulletproof vest.
What do you want me to do? Oh, that was so funny. So don't do that again.
No.
You don't need that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because there's been an evolution of like my process and my, my hiring process. And as we've grown, I've been able to, switch it up and kind of split up the roles a little bit differently, so you're not having one person do everything and getting burnt out. Like,
Oh, I was exhausted every day, man.
right. And I was too. And it was just like, it's one of those things where it's like, this is unsustainable, right? I can't keep operating it like this. And like, you know, at the beginning, you're doing it that way because you
got to be lean.
got to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, and find ways to save money and all this stuff. And like, you know, I'm scouring those invoices and those credit card receipts and like, you know, just trying to, I mean, even my invoicing system was such a challenge. Like just trying to get all the information to make sure I'm billing it back properly. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
right. Like I need all the receipts and scanning in the receipts and like all that stuff has been upgraded to like it's all automated now. Like where the guys
That's
can
a lot of work.
Oh, it is. It's but now it's like they have an app where they clock in and they're already on the clock for an association, and they're putting in what kind of work they're doing. They're taking notes, they're taking pictures, they're putting it in the app, and then like in my QuickBooks, once they're done, it just imports it directly into an invoice.
That's great.
Sends it to them.
That's great. That's really good.
You know, and like yeah, I mean it's little things like that you just had to upgrade and fix over the years, but. That's kind of why I wanted to have you on, because back when you were here, we had none of those systems in place. It was just figuring it out. Every day.
Yep.
And you know, at a point now where it's like, okay, now we have these systems, we have staff, we got people, we got like, you know, a website, we have an actual name and a logo, not like just named after one of the associations.
That's awesome.
But you know, it's good to look back and say, okay, well, what were the things that it took to get here? And one of those things was, you know, all the work you put in, but also like the feedback that, you know, that you gave me to say, hey, this is working, this is not working, this needs to be better, you need to be better. Like, you know, all that stuff has led into an ultimately better product and service.
Well, and the shortcuts I gave you, like the diversity is so important.
Right.
Gave you a completely different perspective on how you're doing things.
Right.
And the most memorable one of those, what is it?
You tell me. The van?
No, that was. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will.
No, the leaf blower.
The leaf blower
For snow removal.
That was you?
You thought I was an idiot. You were like, that's the dumbest thing.
I thought I came up with that idea.
No, you're an idiot, dude. No way you have the capacity to come up with something like that.
That was good. That was a good idea.
So we got this boardwalk. It's all wood with nails sticking out of it, and it's narrow. You can't take a snowblower up and down it. Not even one of those little snow throwers.
And shovelers would lose their mind because they keep
so
hitting
many
the nails.
And I had to deal with that.
Yeah.
But so I tell him we need snow blowers or leaf blowers. And he looked at me like I had 6 heads.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? This is and he was like, well, we'll try it. Shean, this is never going to work. And every single time we took the leaf blowers out with us to do the stairs and the sidewalks at Hartford. Remember doing the stairs there? Because we'd have to blow up and it would all come back down.
Yeah, so we'd get up top and blow it all down.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was, you know what's funny is that was such a huge time and money saver.
Oh, success, dude.
Huge success. And one of those things where it's like, when we sold our landscaping and snow operation in June, I turned over all the contracts to the new company. And they said,
You didn't tell them, right?
No.
Don't tell them about that.
Okay, I won't.
All right.
So they said, how big is your crew been that you're doing all these properties? I was like, me and 2 other guys. and
one and a half guys.
Yeah. And they looked at me and they were like,
oh my God.
How are you doing? Well, I'm like, I just had really, and that was one thing I always appreciated. I mean, you were as reliable as they come. You were always there.
Oh, I was, no doubt.
Never called out. No. Never, whenever.
I think there was like 2 days I was sick.
Yeah, but it was like reasonable.
I didn't even take breaks, dude. But that
you had your little Pedialites.
That was real.
Protein shake.
My Pedialites, my Ensure. That was great. And one of the reasons why I didn't take breaks or got things done so quickly is because when I was done, I could leave.
You wanted to go home. You would rather work through lunch and just go home.
Oh, yeah, 4 or 5 hours. I even told you one time, I was like, you got to stop taking me out to lunch. I'm done.
Right.
I can't sit here for an hour and talk to you. I appreciated it, but if it ain't BK and we're out in 10 minutes, then I don't have time. We have to get the work done first.
Right.
And then, we'll do this once a week or whatever and talk things out. We used to talk a lot about stuff and figure things out together a lot.
Yep.
So that was nice. There was a lot of collaboration with it.
Yeah. And, one of the things that I learned, I think, through all of that, through that experience was I think that I was closer to you or more friendly. Like we were friends.
Oh, sure.
And that made the work relationship more difficult. Whereas like now if I take someone out to lunch or take the guys out to lunch, like I'll get them lunch like once a week or something. And the guys I have now are definitely food motivated.
Oh,
right?
Good.
But
it's expensive.
It is. But it's okay. It's like it's more of like a reward. Like they have a really brutal day or to something like that. Grab them some lunch or grab them some dinner at the end or whatever. But it's more of a treat. And when I take them out to lunch, it's more of like a once in a quarter thing to just not even good job, but to check in. Just build rapport and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I think because we were working together almost every day, and we were friends, and we were like, I
spent more time with you every week than I did my wife and kids.
Exactly.
So we better have been friends at that point.
Right. And we were. But that also led to like, challenges in the relationship when you become too familiar. Like I know for myself, just, when you enter the inner, like I'm very polite and respectful and very polished when you first get to know me. But then once you're in the inner circle and I feel comfortable with you, it's like, it's easy for me to say stuff or cross boundaries that
you let your guard down.
Right. That an employer and employee shouldn't be.
Yeah. I don't feel like that with you and I at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. Right. That was never like the relationship.
No, it wasn't
was
a
like
problem.
we were both just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, like I want to be friendly with everybody, but at the same time, like we got to keep it all professional. And I think
boundaries. Yeah.
Right. And I think with you and those early stages, it was just like, we were in it. We were in it together, and we were just like brothers more than we were.
Absolutely. No, we didn't need the boundary.
Right.
It wasn't necessary. I don't think. We worked really well together.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. And, so looking back on those times, what were areas of the business back then? What worked well and what did not work well? In your perspective,
asking my opinion panned out quite a bit.
That worked out well, yeah.
This is such a good story. This worked out really well, but it was a very bad situation. We had leaking skylights in Country Squire.
Yeah.
And so you're like, all right, go figure it out. What do you mean? Like I can figure anything out, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I'll go buy tar. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So first one I buy is liquid, so I had to take that back and get the money back and pick up the right stuff. And so I'm taking up to the second story roof this 50-gallon drum of asphalt, liquid asphalt or something.
Yeah.
And
no, it was roof tar. It was roof tar.
Yeah. And it was so bad. I was so scared. Yeah,
because you were afraid of heights, and I was afraid of heights.
Yeah, but I was by myself.
Yeah,
you weren't there. I was terrified because I got this bucket. I'm pulling it up with a cargo strap and trying to get it over the gutter, and then. But that worked out because I never heard any complaints after I fixed it, after I tarred it or whatever.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool figuring that one out.
Yeah.
What worked out well? Listening to me worked out well. I had a lot of good stuff for you.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there were some times not listening to me worked out well. And I was surprised by you. And some, I can't think of anything specific, but.
When I moved the shed with the tractor.
Oh my God, that was insanity, dude.
You were like, there's no way this is going to work.
I can't believe that the structure was sound enough. Did we even screw it together?
No, it was just, we just strapped it and put it on the, like I got the
dude.
forks underneath it, I strapped it all up.
That was nuts. I think we used a plywood underneath it, maybe. We had to, because the forks would have went through.
Right.
So we must, no, you lifted it up. You put the fork underneath, and I'm stuffing boards in it.
Oh, that's right.
To get it so it's stable enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. That was just insane. Yeah. I can't believe when you showed up with that tractor one day. Didn't you buy it when we were working together?
I thought I didn't have it.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I thought I already had it, but yeah, we use that tractor for everything.
Yeah. Oh man. That worked out really well, that tractor. That was cool. There was that day I almost had a tree fall on me because of you.
Which day?
Well, we were digging that trench out off Country Square. Because the water built up.
Yeah.
So we're digging this trench to help alleviate some of that. Because we weren't sure if that was like, no, that didn't hurt the flooding. But so you have the tractor and you're pushing on a branch. And I'm like, I don't think you should do that. And I have a chainsaw in my hand. And you keep pushing on the branch with the bucket.
Yeah.
And so when I cut through it, the bucket comes down.
Oh, that's right.
So close to my face. I could feel the breeze from it. That was scary, dude.
Yeah.
What was?
Oh, dude. There's a lot of things. Safety first now.
Safety first. You got it. Hard hats. You used to make fun of me for wearing ear protection.
I would get on you because you wouldn't wear the ear protection.
Oh, because I like to hear.
You were like, I don't want people sneaking up on me. I'm like, bro, you're running a leaf blower.
Not sneaking up on me, but like just not seeing somebody or, but I did. I wore them. One other time that was really cool. What was it? We're putting up that tent in your yard at your house.
Yep.
And we get the whole frame up.
Yeah.
And you're like, Shean, like, let's get the top. And I'm like, are you crazy? One, we've been doing this for hours. Yeah, hours.
It was cold.
And it was after work. So I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, dude, you can't do this. You gotta stop. Because it was so windy.
Yeah.
And you're trying to put the top on this massive tent.
Yeah.
And I was so scared that the thing was going to get ripped up and take you away.
Take me away. It's going to fly away with it.
So I don't remember if I left or we finished the job, but that was something. I was scared for you doing that because we're on ladders and you're trying to tie it. We did finish the job.
Did we finish that day or did we come back and finish another day?
We finished it that day. Even though all that wind, I couldn't leave you. That's what it was.
Oh.
I just couldn't leave you. I felt bad or scared or whatever. Yeah, that was funny. That was really funny. We had a lot of good times.
A lot of good times. So what didn't work well?
Well, some of your judgment calls, not judgment calls, how you responded to negative things. So, and there wasn't even a lot. Nobody complained about me. Nobody said that, he can't work for you anymore.
No, that is true. That is true.
Nobody came. There was one time I painted somebody's ceiling and they didn't like the paint I used. So that was like the one complaint that you got.
I don't even remember that.
Exactly. Rose, I think. I don't know. We shouldn't say names on here.
We shouldn't use last names.
Okay. So I painted their ceiling because they had water damage, which I fixed for them.
With the tar?
They had an upstairs neighbor who the water was dripping from their tub. And they had plumbers out and nobody could figure out what was going on.
Right.
And I walk in, It's the gasket around
Drain.
your overflow valve. Oh. I snapped my fingers. That's what it is. They wouldn't let me in for like 2 months. And then finally, because the downstairs had a hole cut in.
Right.
And you could still see that it was like moist up there.
Right.
But once I put that in, it was done.
Right.
It was done.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And you know what's crazy about that is like, I didn't remember that situation at all until you brought it up.
I fixed, like, it was so quick.
Right.
And I couldn't believe it. That was a $600 guess.
Yeah.
For any, having a plumber out
Right.
and how much that would have cost
Right.
for them to go underneath and look up.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it is.
Right.
It was the simplest thing. So that was great. What else did we do? We had some good times. All that flooding. Oh my God. There's all the time, dude.
All the time. And most of that's, we've gotten it figured out now. But yeah, dude, that was.
Did you ever have to put a pump in?
In building 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. John came in and put a pump in and dug out the foundation, stuff like that.
Good.
So.
Then there was that one on the boardwalk where water keeps dripping into their bathroom wall and they can hear drip,
Yes.
drip, drip.
And it was the dryer vent.
And it was I had to get a scope
Yeah.
and I could see the water going
Yeah.
because it was raining. I kept going there when it was raining.
Yeah.
And it was the dryer vent. How sick was that? Mm-hmm. Like, no problem, figured that out, caulked it up, it was done. That was great.
Yep.
And fixed their wall, that came out perfect. Yeah, you had me on some, I never did drywall.
Yeah. So what are some other things that didn't work well?
Nothing.
Well, I'll say this. So
Everything worked well.
Well, yeah. It's
Except
good.
for those
It's,
security cameras.
oh my God. You know that I just got put on a few weeks ago. There's UFI cameras. You ever hear of those?
No.
They're like solar powered, and they run on 5G, and you just buy data for them once a year.
Oh, that's sick.
And
That's
like
sick.
you don't have to wire them to anything.
What was...
So what I was going to say was one of the things that that you mentioned earlier that was definitely I had to learn. It was a learning experience for me was how I take negative situations.
Yes. Example, biggest example there possibly was is the van.
Yep.
And I thought about that on the way over here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference between a mistake and an accident.
Okay.
A mistake
Yeah.
is when you have the information you need, but you choose the wrong thing to do. And an accident is when you do something unintentionally that it's just an accident.
Right.
I didn't mean to do it. I didn't see it, and I didn't know it was there. And so what happened was it's snowing out, and it's pitch black, and I'm at Country Squire, and he buys the biggest van he can find. It was huge. It was massive. It's a Benz. It's like almost brand new. It's got like no miles on it.
No, it's got a lot of but it's huge.
But this thing is, it doesn't even have back windows. It's so big.
Right.
So I pull into a parking spot because all the parking spots are full. And I got to be able to back out and everything. So I pull in, and I pulled in too tight to this tie down for like a electrical pole. So a big metal tie down, and had the stake sticking out of the ground. So when I backed out, I turned too hard and I caught it. And I caused probably like a 2.5-inch hole in the running board of the van right underneath the driver's side door.
Dent, yeah.
Yeah. So it was an accident.
It was an accident.
It wasn't a mistake.
and-
I could see if I had the knowledge
It was
that's
there.
there. Should I go this way or this way? The mistake would be going the wrong way.
Okay.
But the accident is something happened. I didn't do it. I didn't have the right information to avoid it. So you got so heated.
I was so mad. Dude.
Oh my God, dude. And it's not like I hid it. I didn't like try to hide. I called you and told you. Like, hey, just so you know, I hit this thing. There's a tiny hole in the running board.
Hey, BT Dubs, I crashed your new van.
Yeah, I crashed your new van. I had a head-on collision. I've been drinking all day. Like, so you see it and you're like freaking out. And then you took me into your office and you like gave me a talking to the next day. Shean, I need you to come into my office. Come over to my place first. We got to have a talk. And I'm like, oh, okay, what is this? And I'm like planning. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to quit. I'm going to leave the guy hanging, see what he does.
See what he does. Figure it out, man.
Yep. And so then like 2 days later, you come up to me and you're like, I just want to tell you that maybe I was too hard about the van. My wife talked to me and said I took it too far. I'm sorry. And that's the smartest thing you did that whole time was listen to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in general. That's usually.
No, that's what I'm saying.
she's my HR department. I get. Well, the tough thing is, we were running on such thin margins back then.
Oh yeah.
And not charging enough for anything I was doing.
That was a huge problem, and that affected me a lot.
Yeah.
Like had a huge impact on me. Yeah. Because while we're going through the motions of this, I said I asked for what I asked for
right.
for compensation, and you said yes. And then it was a couple days, it was, a few slow days here and there.
Right.
And so after like a month and a half, you're like, Shean, I need you to be hourly now. So I was like, okay, because it was slow. Mm-hmm. But then, bam, we got job after job after job. Mm-hmm. Shean, I need you to be salary again. Mm-hmm. And then my car broke down.
That's right.
And it was my fault because I didn't get the
oil change.
No, the recall done. So I ended up, I destroyed my car and couldn't do anything about it. So I had to go buy a new one. What I ended up with was a much newer vehicle, low mileage, and the warranty and everything. But that cost money. And so I was making good money. And then I show up with that car, and you go, Shean, I think I'm paying you too much. So that's when I started looking for another job.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you came out to this is like the fourth or fifth time. We got to change the way I pay you. And I'm like, you pick something. Pick something. Yeah. You want me to be hourly? I'll be hourly. That's fine. You want me salary? That's fine. But just stick with it. And then what happened? I just lost it. But. So yeah, we went back and forth on that a few times. That was a problem for me.
Oh, I didn't realize it was much of a problem for you as
it's not was. The pay wasn't a problem. It was
the switching
back and forth.
Right. I can see how that.
Well, it made me nervous.
Yeah.
Because when I told you what I wanted, you were like, well, I'll have to invoice a couple more things every week. We'll find a couple extra jobs to do so we can make that work, which was great. It was phenomenal. But having to hear that multiple times was definitely concerning.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was one of the things that I've had to learn being a good boss. I've had to learn in order to be a good boss and a good leader is, I can't let my own stresses, anxiety trickle on to the people working for me. Right? I can't make my problems your problems. And so
funny. It's such a funny thing to say.
No, but it's true. I mean, there was a lot of things like the van thing, that van issue, right? You did come out and you did tell, hey, listen, this happened to the van, this and that. And I was so upset about it because I knew it was going to cost money and I knew it had to be fixed. And it was just it's like one of those things where in those days, we were operating on such tight margins and not making enough money and just trying to squeeze everything in and figure it out that any little thing that cost more money than I had planned on spending was like earth shattering. And then I just would take, like, that stress would come out on you or whoever else.
We could have just caulked it. We could have just covered it up and caulked it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. We water sealed until we could have afforded to get it fixed.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I think you wanted to like have me pay for part of it too.
Well, I said I gotta figure out a way to pay for this. So I was like, I need you to take a week off so I can pay for this thing.
And I was happy to.
Yeah.
I was happy. Oh my God, I needed that so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have just caulked over it and like sealed it off until
Another time. No. Hindsight, right? But a lot of that is just, learning to I think a lot of it, I was just like, hey, I need you to figure it out. And then, hoping you figured it out the way I wanted you to figure it out.
Oh, it worked. You're lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky how it worked out between the two of us.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, and that was one thing is that, you said I shouldn't
I need you to
make
read
my
mind.
problems your problems.
Yeah.
I was happy to do that and to figure things out and
Right.
talk things out with you and, try to make everything work.
Right.
But I want you to be successful.
Yeah.
So I was never adverse to that.
Yeah. No, and you were a great team player, and and I think what I learned the most was, hindsight after kind of, things ended and we kind of went our separate ways, and it was just kind of like, I think the van incident precipitated a lot of it, but then going back and reflecting over the next few months and being like, hey, maybe I put too much on your plate, was too demanding, was too exacting, and I wasn't building enough. I wasn't planning enough for mistakes and inefficiencies. Mm-hmm. And again, I was making that your problem, but it was a me problem. Like I had to plan for those things.
Well, you can't plan for them because you don't know what the mistake is going to be.
Right.
But you can just be more understanding that mistakes are going to happen and accidents are going to take place. You're lucky it wasn't on the road. Driving that thing on the highway, terrifying. In the snow, painful paying attention to all this and trying to navigate the highway in the dark while it's snowing. You can't see the lanes. There's people everywhere.
Right.
I'm in this boat. It's a space shuttle. The thing is massive. And it was scary, dude. You know what? Oh man, here's so things that worked out for you really well, or for us really well, was when you would take my advice on something or my idea, and things that didn't work out for you was when you didn't take my ideas. The chains in the van. I told you so many times, put chains on the snow blowers.
Put chains on the snowblower?
Put chains on it. You had bungee cords on the snow blowers to hold them in place in the van.
Oh, yeah.
And I kept saying, you got to put chains, And then like one day it hit the saw leg. And the saw leg came off slightly. You were so...
It was such a little thing.
The smallest, stupidest thing. You know what I told you to do?
What?
So this is a table saw, right?
Yeah.
And it's the little adjustable leg on it to steady it. And it came off. His fault. Because he didn't want...
It was just the vibrations of the van.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so he had such a tizzy with me over this thing. It
You
was
lost
so bad. It was
broke.
so bad. And that I'm going to blow you up on this.
Yeah, it's all right.
So I said, put it in the glove box. He said, no. It's going to stay on the table. It's not going in the glove box. I couldn't believe that, dude. So you wanted it right there on the table. I was trying to protect it.
Right. It's like, no.
And put it somewhere really safe. We could have put it in a pack out.
You know that I started storing it in a pack out?
Oh my God, dude. It could have been in a pack out the whole time.
Yeah.
It's such a delicate part.
Right.
And what is it, for $30 to replace it? I want it to stay safe too. So I was coming up with ideas. I'm happy that you found something for it though.
Yeah.
But you got to change. Oh well, you don't have to do it anymore. But tell those guys with the van to chain up the snow blowers so they don't roll around.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we don't need to carry snow blowers anymore.
Well, I'm just talking about your guys that you rely on to do your snow removal.
Oh, yeah, that's a them problem now.
No.
That's what they get paid the big bucks to do. They have their own contracts. They can do it their own way, and I will stay out of their business.
That's good.
And I will just focus. I will stay in my lane. But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that, is just how to be a better leader and a better example and really keep it together. And it's not to say that I don't lose my cool at times when there's mistakes made or instructions not followed. But I think I've had to learn to appreciate that it's a hard job for anybody, and that, like I can't expect people to read my mind or be perfect all the time.
You just said if somebody doesn't, you can't get upset if somebody doesn't follow the directions to a T. And I'll tell you, you never had that problem with me because you never once gave me directions. You pointed and said, "Go do this."
Right.
There's one day you had me out in front of Hartford. Oh my God. Yeah. I hope this looks good on you. This whole video that we're doing.
I don't know.
We'll have to
for better or
reshoot
worse.
And you have me bagging up leaves with trash bags, and I'm calling you, and I'm like, "Dude, this is so stupid." You're like, "Shean, just do it, just do it." And I could have been there for a month in that one section.
Yeah.
You using these bags to put leaves in. It was insane.
You were like,
but
just get a leaf loader.
Then we got the leaf loader.
And it was night and day.
It was night and day, but it was scary because it kept catching on fire.
Oh.
And I think I even told you had to do this. I don't remember. But I think I told you have to have a window
Right.
in the box for the air to get out.
Right.
But that's I don't remember if I told you that or not, but that's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
Was to get the air to go out.
We had to mesh the whole top of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I had it enclosed.
That's
and it was just shooting
right.
right back. Yeah, it was a mess. Figuring it out as we went, man.
We figured so much stuff out though, like sick stuff. We did really good.
And I think that's one of the I talk about it today, like our process is completely different from other management companies. And I think the reason for that is a lot of other property managers in Connecticut, they all like spent time working at each other's businesses and then like they started their own. So they kind of took the processes from each other. Whereas us, we literally just had to figure it out from the beginning. And we had to figure out our own solutions. And sometimes they're not as good. But a lot of times they were just better solutions, more efficient solutions.
Right.
And it allowed us to do, we put these constraints like budget constraints and time constraints. And like I was charging way too low per hour as like there was no margins, right? And I wasn't pricing stuff adequately. So it put these budget constraints on every job we did. We had to be the most efficient to try to make a little bit of money. And as a result, we were able to come up with better solutions,
No, everything that we did was we genuinely engineered whatever we needed to.
There we go. Engineered it on the spot.
Yes, that's it.
Non-professional.
No, we did a lot of really good stuff. I'm trying to think of anything else that, those cameras, putting those cameras up was really tough. I did Hartford.
Yeah.
And you did Country Squire.
Yeah.
You had to be so high up in Country Squire. I wasn't going to do it. You were like, "Shean, get up on the ladder. I'll hold it." No, I'm not. I am not doing this. This is on you. Which you ate that real quick and you got up there.
Yeah.
We're probably just as scared as each other at heights.
Oh, dude, yeah. And you know what's funny? Like the next few guys that I hired after you, everybody was afraid of heights.
Yeah.
I just for the first time like 2 months ago finally got a guy that's not afraid of heights.
Did he go up on that roof for that skylight on the boardwalk on Country Square, phase 1?
Oh yeah, no problem. The dude, this dude,
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The one we had tarped like 6 times?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it fixed?
Oh yeah.
What was the problem?
They can't hear you.
What was the problem with it?
All right. Are you talking about Or are you talking about? I mean,
The woman that
let
had
me
the
edit
wood
that out.
ceiling and the beam, and the beam kept getting wet, and we had to keep tarping up the roof. The guy had to keep come back.
Okay, yeah, you're talking about on the corner, crazy lady.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
yeah. We're not
Yes.
going to use her. I'm going to edit her name out. But,
okay.
yeah. So we gotta circle back around to that too. So yeah, it just got fixed like last week.
What was the problem?
All right.
Can I tell you what the problem was?
Okay.
I told you, and I told that guy that kept going up there, I said, the problem is not the skylight. It's not the roof. It's those windows. It's where those windows aren't sealed. And so water was getting in through the windows. What was it?
No, we actually got her to replace all 4 windows. Kept happening.
No.
And then we looked real bad.
Because it would come down, and then there was an overhang, and I thought it kept dripping in.
Yeah. So then we tarped off just that top soffit, and it stopped it for a while, and it stopped it for like 6 months. And we're like, okay, so it must be this. It's either because it was either the siding, because the windows were done, so it was either the siding or the top of the roof. So we tarped that whole eave, and it stopped. It stopped happening. So we're like, okay, so it's not the siding. Right? So we get a new guy, a roofer, to get up there and replace the first 3 feet of the roof along that edge. And then it happens. And she's like, it's worse than ever. And we're like, what is going on? So he ends up going back with a hose. This was like a month ago.
Yeah, a hose, good.
And it turns out, you remember those beams that would come up?
Yeah.
Like
it was dripping down them.
No, because all around them was caulked. The actual wood itself was so porous,
Hollow.
it would go through the actual like grains and travel down the grains of the wood.
All right, so it was...
Of those beams.
It was those...
It was, but it was like...
I was right, though. I knew it was those. But it was hollow?
Well, it wasn't that it was hollow.
It was saturated?
It was that, the grains were all kind of pulling apart.
Oh, my God.
So what he did is he wrapped those with aluminum and fixed the problem.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm happy to hear that.
Dude, that was one of the hardest problems.
We worked on it for a year.
Dude, it's been an ongoing for a year, more than a year. It was like a year and a half.
Did you ever find where the electrical box is for those lights in phase 1?
No.
That was so messed up.
No.
That they didn't tell you where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about for phase 3.
Is that what it is up top?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out they're on photocells. Found an electrician who used to service that property like 20 years ago.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Figured out right where the photocells were. They were hidden behind like one of the roof structures.
That's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
That apartment we did,
Which one?
the pool house.
Oh, yeah, super happy with that.
Yeah, is the deck done?
No.
Top? No. Yeah, the pool house, that was interesting. But it was good to see that stuff happen. And then what was it though? The wallpaper. Trying to get the wallpaper off.
That was terrible.
Oh, it was such a bad. And then, mistakes, accidents. You're at Home Depot. I think your wife's mom is there. Like they're cleaning or something. Mm-hmm. And like the bathroom's done. Like I did that. I think I did a great job with fixing the walls on that bathroom. I did really well for that. Mm-hmm. In the shower. You're at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, and you call me and you go, Shean, and I'm buying a toilet seat. Is the bowl round or oval? And I look at the toilet and I go, well, it's kind of oval, but it's more round. And you're like, Shean, which one is it? Is it oval or is it round? And I said, well, I told you, like technically, it's oval. I didn't know the difference. I didn't know the seat was going to be like this. So it's hanging off like this much off the front. And I took it back.
Right.
I argued with them. They said I never even bought it. They couldn't find it on your credit card history. It was like a whole thing. So they let me exchange it for the round one. But like, you were so pissed about that. That was so funny. So funny.
I asked you one question. Gave you one job.
But when you looked at it, was it technically oval? Yes. Yes, it was technically oval.
Technically oval.
Yes. So there's that. Technicality. I'll give you that one. What else we do? What was like the craziest stuff we had to go buy?
The craziest stuff we had to buy while you were there was equipment. It was just like,
Oh yeah, building everything up. Yeah.
yeah, that was so stressful. I mean, buying $50,000, $70,000 piece of equipment. After you left, I ended up buying a wheel loader, like $120,000 wheel loader.
A what?
A wheel, like a front end loader.
Like a bulldozer?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
With like
with the big tires on it?
Yes.
Oh my god, dude.
Because for that when we got that apartment complex at the top of the hill for snow removal.
You got it.
Yeah, we ended up getting
I
it.
didn't know you got it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we ended up getting it. We did that. So that was last year. So we had all of the top of the hill last year. And we ended up getting
That's awesome.
And I ended up getting that last phase of Squire. Getting that last so that, and then once we did that, I was like, okay, this was everything I set out to do. Now what? And
That's a great feeling.
well, yes and no. I mean, it's kind of like this now, like, I don't know what to do next. Like, you know, we accomplished, because you were there at the beginning when I was like, hey, we're trying to add, you know, we want to manage them and we want to manage them and get everybody under one landscaping and snow contract.
Yep.
And we did that. And then it was like, now what? And
You could have been happy. You already bought everything. You could have just rolled the money.
in theory, yes.
In theory, well, not that it would ever happen, but
Right. You know, and then I think it was shortly after that more people started to call and we started to expand. And then I was like, well, I'm getting spread too thin.
yeah.
I can't keep. There was a ton of, like, while the money was good in landscaping and snow, there's a ton of liability.
Hitting a car. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Leaving a patch of
slip and
ice.
falls.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you remember? There's a few snowstorms where like
ours were nuts.
it was nuts. And then like, even if we have 4 guys working, which seems like a lot at the time, we're still like scrambling. We're driving up there in the middle of a snowstorm, driving over there, and it were just slammed all the time. And it's like, so. And then the other thing is, I got through last year, and the snow, we didn't have a bad year as far as snow goes. Like, made good money in that sense, but I didn't get to go skiing at all last year. And it was one of those things where it was like, if I get to be, 45 or 50 and I spent my 30s and 40s plowing snow instead of doing something that I really love to do. Like, I started this business, I got into this line of work to, provide for my family, yes, but also, I don't want to sacrifice 20 years of not doing something that I love to maybe, and then, all the risk and liability. And so it just happened where one of the complexes we took on, one of the contractors at that complex was like, hey, listen, we have bandwidth if you have any more properties for us. And I was like, well, we do our own landscaping and snow removal. But if you want, I'll sell you my whole, portfolio and all the equipment. If you buy all the equipment, I'll sell you the contract. I'll give you all the contracts too. And so it got rid of a lot of the overhead and it worked out.
That's great. Remember that dishwasher?
Oh my God, she was so mean.
Tell them what happened.
She was so mean. So we had a 2-family house and a detached garage. So I would run the business out of the detached garage, and it was like close to downtown, and
It was convenient.
it was convenient, but it was a side-by-side 2-family, and we had this older lady and retired lady in the other unit, and she must have been, I don't know if she was bipolar or what, but there was some days where she was super nice. She always paid on time, but she was so demanding. and she would act as if it wasn't our house. Right. And she'd get mad at me because we're doing work. Like we're working out of the garage or working out of the driveway or my van's parked there.
Oh yeah.
Equipment. She's like, you can't, like,
There's
you
always
can't,
something.
I'm going to report you to planning and zoning because you're, running this business and you have equipment. Like, lady, like, you're not paying my bills. You're, covering a portion of the mortgage, but like, so eventually it got so bad and she'd, or we'd be away and you'd come and like plow or something like that.
Oh,
it wouldn't be
a
good
problem.
enough.
Yeah.
And it was like, she just wasn't nice. She wasn't a nice person. And so I remember one time there was an issue with the dishwasher and,
she complained that went on for like 2 weeks.
yeah, it wasn't even that long. It was a few days.
But she would say that. Yeah.
Right. And I said, all right, I'm going to have Shean go check it out. And she sent me this long text. I don't want your,
half-wit
employee, messing around with the dishwasher. You need to get a plumber and he needs to come out here and he needs to fix this issue and this and that. And just berated me for even considering that, for sending you.
So silly.
And then you go and you like look at it and you're like, I think I can connect my phone to this dishwasher. I think there's an app. And all you did was connect it and then all of a sudden it started working.
Yep. That was it.
And it was fixed like within 30 seconds and she had to eat crow on that. She
wasn't even in the room for that.
Really?
Because, the first thing I did, took everything out. And, I undid the drain, the basin, and so I can reach my hand in there and see if it was clogged, and it wasn't. So I'm like, what else could be the problem? Right. So I looked for the hose. It was fine, and that's when I hooked up my phone. And I was just like, forget this. I'm not a plumber. I don't know what's going on. So I put everything back, and then I hooked up my phone. Boop, touched it, and just turn the thing on. It was amazing. So she comes in after that. I was like, hey, whatever your name is. And she runs in and she's like, how'd you do that? I was like, I can't tell you. It's a trade secret.
Proprietary.
So I don't think I even told her. But that was another, $300 job that got saved. So that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
And one of those things that we're just like, I think what I'm taking away from this conversation is we didn't have a master plan.
Nothing.
And, we weren't super experienced and skilled tradesmen and this or that. We just were ambitious and were willing to figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Everything we did was a risk.
Everything we did was a risk. And the associations that hired me were taking on a huge risk.
Oh, absolutely.
By hiring someone.
No experience.
Right. Just getting into just trying to figure. But I think in this podcast, one of the things that we're exploring or looking into is like not just about property management or HOA management, but also, this idea of entrepreneurship and.
Oh, you got to learn as you go. And
right. And I think.
You never gave up.
Right.
You never gave up.
Right.
We always pushed through and got it done.
And we had those conversations too. Like, people say, I can't do this because I haven't had opportunities or I don't know, I don't have the experience or whatever. And all these excuses. And it's like, well, we just have to be willing to try. We have to be willing to go and try to find the information and do the best we can. And I think what led to us being successful in a space where we had no business being successful. Because I had no business being successful in property management.
Agreed. You had all the tools. I don't know how you got those. I don't know how you could afford all that stuff. That was crazy. But no, we
found a way.
Both of us I had no business working for you. And you had no business in the business. So
and yet
it was great.
And yet the result was that people were really happy. And I think the reason why we were able to figure out and people were happy was because we were just willing to work hard and try.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the other bigger management companies had gotten complacent, they'd gotten lazy, and they were just like, charging top dollar and not and not really trying that hard.
Oh, we'll get it on the list. You're on the list.
Right.
Long waiting list.
Someday we'll get to you.
One thing that I really appreciate about where I work now is that it's a smaller bank, but I have so many different jobs I do, but I always pick up the phone and I help people on the spot. And these are huge clients. So I can't tell them I'll get to it. You know, there's things that I can put on the list that aren't going to get done for a couple weeks, but the rest of it is they need help right now. And that's what we did too. We didn't make people wait. We got a job, we did it. It wasn't put it off for a month. Oh, we'll get to it. It was, we got everything done right away. And it was always fixed. Right. It wasn't, we didn't leave things broken.
We found a way to fix it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could have been
unconventional. And it was all the right ways. We didn't use shark bites.
No.
We didn't tape up pipes.
No. Right.
We did everything the way we were supposed to.
It might have taken us a few tries to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you know what's interesting is now we're at a point with the amount of properties and employees that we are booked out like 2 to 3 weeks, and there are times where we have to, you know, schedule stuff out like a week or a week and a half. Whereas I think when you were there, we were generally day to day figuring out what we were doing, right?
Yes.
But now it's like, okay, we have, you know, weeks out in advance or whatever, and we just prioritize. And,
right.
You know, had to develop different systems to keep track of everything. But I think the point is that, you know, regardless of wherever we're at in life, if you're willing to stomach the risk and put the work in and put the time in and you know, anything's really possible. And you know, I'm really grateful for all the work and time and dedication you put in.
Thank you.
You know, in that time, because there was a lot of, even just, you know, having this conversation, there were so many times where I wasn't there. I was doing something else, and you were.
Well, yeah, you had other stuff, yeah,
right. And you know, that's invaluable. And you know, the goal is just as we move forward with time, like, you know, I rarely swing the hammer anymore, right? I don't have to mow anymore, right? But you know, the fact that I did all those things for the first few years, I still can, like, I had to show the guys how to build one of the stairwells at Hartford, and you know.
Oh, okay.
You know, when we replaced
the stringers.
Yeah, the stringers and the
whole thing.
Putting Trex in and all that.
Dude,
stuff.
that stuff was so dangerous. I was scared to go put salt on those stairs.
They were so bad.
They were rotted through. Yeah. There's holes in the decks up above.
Yeah.
Just, I can't believe that they, you know, they let them get to that point.
Right.
Yeah, they could have taken care of it and sealed
them. Well, they
didn't
have any money.
Yeah, but to paint over it and seal it up every couple years, you know, preventative.
So, yeah. So, but the cool thing is that, you know, because, you know, now the guys, they wonder sometimes if I actually know how to do any of this stuff, right? And so I get to
call Shean and ask him.
So yeah, so I get to go out. Well, this one I got to go out and I got to build an entire stairwell and show them how to do it, and like, you know, and did it nice. Like, did it nice to the point like I had a different carpenter working for me, and I actually paid more attention to detail than. So he went back out on his own.
Good.
Yeah. He was an independent contractor, worked for me for a year, and then decided he could make. He wanted a consistent paycheck, so he came and worked for me.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's like, I can make more money doing it on my own. And it's like, okay, but you just got to deal with more crap,
right?
You know, getting paid on time and all this other stuff
versus deal with you.
I gave him a lot of latitude though, but yeah.
Oh, I know you did. Yeah,
because I'm just like, figure it out, right? But you know, the cool thing is that because we did the job ourselves early on, like when I'm negotiating with a landscaping contractor now, I know how much work goes into it.
Right.
When the board says, "Oh, they're paying us too much for that," I can run my little bid spreadsheet and be like, "Nah, they're actually 10 grand under where I would be at for this job," right? Or you know, when there's a leak or an issue, like a construction issue, like because I've made those repairs before myself, I have a good idea of what's going on behind the wall.
Right.
And there's just a huge value to be added with respect to that, where I think a lot of other property managers who've only ever done the administrative component,
Got it.
they're just like, they're just pushing the papers and they're not understanding what
You're much more well-rounded.
right.
Yeah.
And honestly, like if I could get paid as much as I want to get paid to go out and swing a hammer when I want to,
Yeah.
and mow lawns when I want to,
Absolutely.
I would do it.
Absolutely.
Because I actually enjoy that kind of work more
Oh, it was great.
than dealing with people.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. The dealing with angry people is stressful, but it's the thing that nobody else wants to do. Therefore, it is the thing that there will always be a need for, and they will pay the most for.
It's what I do at work. If someone's not happy, I take care of it. When we first sat down, or you're saying how it was different at the beginning working with me because we were friends, and I wouldn't be here if we weren't still friends. So that's a good testament to yourself. Right? There's always lessons to learn and everything.
Right.
But you weren't bad. You weren't ever bad to work with.
Just
There
moments.
There was bad moments.
Right.
And eventually you would either swallow it or get over it somehow, and we get past it.
Right.
There's there's some moments. I still got a couple in my head.
Yeah.
Remember the trowel? I tarred up some tools.
Oh, I was so pissed. I was so pissed. This is my father-in-law's trowel.
I didn't know that.
You're like, I was just trying to get it done, man.
Yeah.
And then there was another time where Andrew's first time meeting you, he walks up and you got like tar all down your arm because you didn't have a trowel. And you're like scooping it up and smearing it. And
all over the place, man.
Oh, man. So yeah, I mean.
I destroyed so many clothes. Messing with tar. I did tar up in Hartford too.
That was when he found you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
Get off your phone. We're busy.
We're busy.
Yeah. I don't pay you to be on your phone. Oh man.
They do though.
How was the renovation?
Which one?
The one I left you on.
It came out good.
Yeah.
Easy client though.
Yeah.
Low standards.
Wavy shit
No,
everywhere.
it was straight. We brought a sheetrocker in for that job, and he did a really good job. Finished up really nice. But
you need a sheetrocker for the downstairs? For the whole thing?
Downstairs, the whole
Yeah.
thing. He sheetrocked and
You didn't have me, man. We would have gotten it done.
all wavy and all.
No, my stuff's on point. I'm working on my bathroom right now. I know what I'm doing. Love it.
You're
I got
welcome.
the tools.
You're welcome.
I got the tools now.
Yeah, you're welcome. You know what you're doing, and you have the tools because
You
of
didn't
me.
pay
You're
for
welcome.
the tools. You did not pay for those
I didn't pay
tools.
for them, but I stimulated you to get them.
Yes. Oh no. And I picked a good platform, that black and yellow.
That black and yellow. It's a
man.
solid platform. Not quite as good as the red and white, but
Yeah, well, red and black.
red and black.
and black?
I say red and white. It's red and white.
Well, okay. All right. I'll let you have that one. Yeah. No, we did really good. I was surprised. Well, I was not surprised, but impressed at what we were able to accomplish. Especially when it was snow removal. It was me and him. The other people that came and helped
Transient.
were okay. They were fine, but we had to take care of
ourselves.
everything.
Right.
And we're salting. And that, we got the salt spreader, the big diesel one. That was great.
Yeah.
That worked out. But that leaf blower was the best idea.
Yeah.
Best idea for the snow. You still do it, right? Or you would.
I would, yeah.
At home you will.
Yeah, I mean, at home I'll just shovel a little path, but yeah, yeah. I mean, the leaf blower.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Using leaf
That
blowers.
was really cool.
I mean, that sped up our time so much because you could just leaf blow and then salt the.
It's over an hour.
Yeah,
Well over an hour.
for sure. Because
Probably 2 hours. Probably save us 2 hours.
and you can leaf blow up to like 5 inches,
yeah.
3 to 5 inches.
As long as it's like soft, not
Fluffy,
wet, not wet.
not the heavy stuff. No.
No. But no, that worked out great. And man, there were so many times though, like where it was impossible to what we did and how much we pulled off and
With so few guys, so little resources.
well, we didn't. I mean, again, it was me and you, and then you'd hire like one person for a little thing here and there, and so that was nuts. It was good.
Yeah, dude, it brings me back, man. It brings me back, and that's the truth of it is hard work and just the willingness to figure it out. That's all. That is all it boils down to, and yeah, well, I know it is Black Friday.
Oh.
I know you got a family.
I am not going shopping. That's for sure. No,
Okay.
no.
But it is the day after Thanksgiving, and your kids have off, and your wife has off.
Yeah,
and
I took off today.
To do this?
Yeah, I don't take time off.
Really?
Yeah. I ended up, at the beginning of October, I looked at how much time off I had, and I was like, oh my God, I have to schedule stuff now. So
Do you lose it at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I had to schedule it just to have it set up. I saved it in case the kids get sick, but I can't lose it. So I had to start spreading it out. So no, I didn't take today off for this. I took it off because it's my birthday weekend.
Oh, really?
So I had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I took Monday off.
Oh, okay.
So I got 5 days. So I'm just chilling. And yesterday was good. Hope you guys had a good day too.
Yeah, it was good. It was low key. It was nice to have the day off for the most part.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Let me know if you find any good deals on those DeWalt batteries.
Okay. I haven't been to Home Depot in
And
6 months.
They make adapters for everything. So if you find a Ryobi that you like, I got my little shop vac, my little 3-gallon, and I got a DeWalt adapter on it. Oh. You made fun of me for that thing, but then we had those pipes burst, and I'm sucking water up with it. That was great.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. I love tools.
Yeah.
I used to live at Home Depot, man. You remember those days?
Oh yeah, we were there every day, just walking around. I was getting paid for this.
Just trying to find tools that I didn't have.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I think I found one. You don't have this one yet. But yeah, now the stock's made up. The guys know how to use them. They know where everything goes. And I got one guy. So I got one guy who started with me a few months ago. He's Honduran. Legal, has all his papers and everything. But he wants to.
Yeah, I don't care. But continue.
No, I know, but it's just that's a big thing because I try to pay the taxes and all that stuff, right?
Oh yeah, you want to be you said you wouldn't let me work under the table.
No, got to do it legit.
Yep.
And so he wants to work like 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week, and he wants to work Saturday and Sundays.
Good.
And he's just like,
you need somebody to work the weekend,
right?
You need somebody to be available, especially for Hartford.
Yeah.
Tow them cars.
Oh, man. We got the gates working. Gates work at Hartford, both of them.
That's great. I put a lot of time into those.
Yeah.
Did they break after I left?
So the south gate, we ended up having to get the braided wire put in professionally. And ever since then, that was good.
Okay.
The north gate, we had to replace the whole motor assembly.
The big gate.
The big gate.
Yeah.
It was a $12,000 job. They had to replace the motor assembly and put a new trip sensor and all that stuff. And since then, it's worked well.
How about that post on the south gate?
The post.
It's probably not even there anymore. Never mind.
The post.
Huge beam.
Oh, that was rotted out?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got those replaced.
Oh, my God. Thank God.
Yeah, that whole roof is going to come down, man.
That was so scary seeing that. I can't believe how much stuff I figured out on my own. Like out on the other side of that, on the street, there was that gutter that kept spilling over, and I didn't know what to do. So I'm just banging on it. Just banging, and all this stuff came out of it, and it wasn't backed up anymore. And there was a lot of stuff. I liked just figuring everything out. But that bathtub was probably...
That's your claim to fame.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where I was like, I was in.
You were in.
I was in for life.
You figured that out.
Oh my God, that was nuts.
And the leaf blowers.
Yeah, the leaf blower.
I didn't even realize that was a you thing. The
No, that was me. You were like, this is never gonna work. I don't believe this. And I'm like, please, just bring it. Just bring.
You're
bring
like,
it.
there's two of us. We have far more than we can reasonably accomplish on our own.
I know.
Please just listen to me.
Just listen. No, you were great. I love working with you. I'd come back.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd come back.
I appreciate that.
Money's right, you know.
The money's right.
Yeah.
But you got a good thing going right now.
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah.
We'll see, man. We never know where the future will
Absolutely.
lead. And I think what I've learned is that in this business, relationships are everything, right?
Yeah,
in any business,
yeah.
really. So, I love the fact that, regardless of, moments you had in the past, we're able to come back and do this and kind of reminisce a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. No harboring of ill will. Everything was great. I loved working with you.
Appreciate it.
It was a lot of fun. I learned a ton. So much. No, that's the thing is none of the stuff we learned was out of the book. It was all just figure it out on YouTube, and we got it done right and done well. And my shelves are still up with the humidifiers and
All the work we did back then, it's
those cameras still working.
Cameras still working.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. All of them on the boardwalk.
Yep.
No way. You haven't had to go fix them again?
Nope.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We did a great job. I had to rewire those like twice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hey man,
It was great.
it's great.
Yeah.
Got it all done.
We did. Everything we wanted to, everything we needed to. It was always taken care of.
Amen.
No burst pipes last year?
Yes. New places, burst pipes in new places. But it's okay.
Yeah.
We got to figure it out. There's going to be burst pipes there. I'm actually talking to John. I'm trying to see if because he's going to be a free agent in about a week. So I'm trying to get him and open up a plumbing division and have him run that.
That'd be a big deal.
We have so much plumbing work.
Yeah.
So many water issues that we've dealt with over the years. I think that.
Well, it's almost worth taking it out of the funds from the HOA and having, whether it's a newly replaced one,
Right.
take the water heater out, foam it, and put it back in. Right. So it's at least got some insulation. Because the door's there too. You can't do anything. It's all, that's tough. That's a tough one. You're going to figure it out, though.
Thanks, man.
You'll be all right.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Cool. Well, get back to your family, spend some time with them.
No, thanks for setting this up, though. This was really good, and it's nice to reminisce.
Yes. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your willingness to do it. I know you drove 45 minutes to get here.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all
day
good.
off. So.
Yeah. You said you're going to pay me full day, so.
I did, huh?
No, thank you.
No problem. Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.